Today, we spread the damage out rather than trying to only focus our opponent's active Pokemon. We're going to be spreading that damage out and hoping to take some snipes on the bench in today's Uxie Froslass deck, and a deck that I like to call Mesprit Wasn't Invited, because we don't play Mesprit in this deck, but we play both Uxie and Azelf. Greetings everybody, the Shadow Chester here, and welcome back to Pokemon TCG Live. I know it's been a while, but honestly I've been kind of having trouble making some decks lately. And the decks I kind of do have, kind of other people have been doing them. I try to be a little bit more original, but honestly this deck is just so much fun. It's become one of my favorite decks to play, and honestly it's kind of made me fall in love with spread decks a little bit. So, as mentioned today, we're playing a spread deck today. Now, what is a spread deck? A spread deck is essentially when we look to spread the damage out on our opponent's field, rather than just pouring all that damage onto one singular Pokemon. This is beneficial for a few different reasons. One, it applies pressure to not only opponents active, but to their bench as well, forcing them to make plays that they otherwise wouldn't want to make, such as evolving Pokemon they don't want to make, or straight up not benching Pokemon that they might want to at all. And how do I do this with this deck? Well, our two main attackers in this deck are going to be Uxie and Froslass. Uxie has that Painful Memories ability, or attacks, excuse me, which for one psychic energy will put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon, or the equivalent of 20 damage. Now, because it's damage counters, this does bypass the likes of Manaphy. I am playing pre-rotation as of the time of this recording, so rotation has not happened yet at the end of this month. So Manaphy is still in standard, but Uxie does ignore that effect. And our other attacker will be Froslass, who we will actually be doing. Froslass's damage comes from her ability, Freezing Shroud, where during Pokemon Checkup, which is essentially in between turns, so when either player ends their turn, they put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon that has an ability, both yours and your opponent's, except for any Froslass. So in between turns, she will be pumping out any damage to Pokemon that do have abilities. Now keep this in mind, this does also affect Pokemon on your side of the field, except for any Froslass, which is why Froslass is the only Pokemon with an ability that we are playing in this deck, because otherwise Froslass would be damaging our own Pokemon and essentially giving opponents free prizes, which we do not want. So, combining with all of this, we can essentially put out a lot of damage in between turns, and really forcing our opponents into these otherwise uncomfortable situations. With Froslass alone, we pressure a lot of meta support Pokemon, such as Fezandipiti EX, Mew EX, and so on and so forth, because of their abilities. So ergo, Froslass will be doing at least 10 damage to those guys in between turns. This effect does stack, so if you have 3 Froslass on the field, this will be doing 30 damage in between turns, and it can really pump up a lot of damage. On top of the 20 damage that Uxie will be spreading each turn, this can really, pump up a lot of damage and really put your opponent on a timer. We are also playing Azelf in the deck, as mentioned earlier. Azelf will be our sort of nuker because of his Neurokinesis attack, which for 1 Psychic and 1 Colorless energy will do 10 damage, plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So if your opponent has a ton of damage counters on their side of the field, Azelf can really hit for like 400 plus damage, depending on how much damage is on your opponent's field, and it could just really nuke stuff. That's one-shotting anything and everything in the game. That's really nothing to sneeze at. To help us get set up, we're running 4 copies of Buddy Puffin because all of our basics are searchable by it, and we are also playing 1 copy of Artisan just in case. We do need some time to set everything up. We're also playing Cleffa as our draw engine in the deck for the Grasping Draw ability, which for free essentially, it doesn't require any energy. You may draw cards until you have 7 cards into your hand. It doesn't do any damage, but it can really help you in those situations where you're just dead bricking. Again, we're not playing a dedicated draw engine on our deck, no B-Barrel, nor anything like that, no Mew EX, because of the anti-synergy with Froslass. So Cleffa really helped us get into those situations where we just need to get as many cards as we can. We're also playing the Accompanying Flutes, which can essentially help us spread more damage out and kind of force our opponents to play those Pokemon that they otherwise kind of wouldn't want to. The Accompanying Flute allows us to look at the top 5 cards of our opponent's deck, and we may put any number of basic Pokemon we find there onto their bench. and then we shuffle the other cards back into the deck. So even if we don't get any basic Pokemon, we still get info on what cards our opponent might be playing in their deck. So I like the accompanying flute for that. And plus, you know, if you can get some those ability Pokemon out, you can instantly start spreading damage to them with both Uxie and Froslass. We'll play the Neutralization Zone as our ace spec of choice. The Neutralization Zone is essentially Mimikyu's effect, but for all basic Pokemon. Neutralization Zone reads that essentially none of our Pokemon in our deck can be hit by damage from our opponent's EX and V Pokemon. So essentially we want to Neutralization Zone into the late game, so that way our opponent doesn't really have any chance of removing it. We use Artisan to kind of hopefully maybe bait our opponent, as well as the Lost Vacuum to also bump some stadiums that our opponent might be playing in their deck. Stadiums aren't too prevalent right now, but it's always good to have some backup. Plus, Lost Vacuum can also remove some tool cards that might be boosting our opponent's HP stats, such as Hero's Cape, Luxurious Cape, Ancient Booster Capsule, those sorts of cards. Everything else is pretty standard. We're running 3 Night Treasures in our deck. Night Treasures are really good because we can instantly get back either a Uxie or really any Pokemon or energy that we want to instantly power things up. Playing 4 Irida. Irida can help us get our Froslass line set up as well as an item card. So usually what I like to do with Irida, I will get a Froslass and a Buddy Puffin. You can play the Buddy Puffin to get a Snorunt and maybe a Uxie, and then next turn you can evolve that Snorunt into Froslass to help start pumping out the damage. We're also playing the counter game. This is pretty much only going to be useful for Azelf. The counter game reads, if you have more prize cards than your opponent, the attacks of this Pokemon the card is attached to cost 1 less. So we can essentially use Neurokinesis for only 1 energy, which is really good. Also playing the rescue board just for some pivoting options for our Froslass. For our final piece, we're also playing Technical Machine De-Evolution. Some Pokemon are just way too tanky for us to take out, so what we can do here is we can essentially de-evolve them. The Pokemon will be put back into the hand, and then we will knock out the baby version of the Pokemon. We only get 1 prize card from doing so, but sometimes we really just need to do that. And plus, it's really worth it if you can take multiple 1 prize knockouts. Another really good thing about this deck is that your opponent has to take 6 knockouts with this deck because we run 0 Roblox Pokemon. We're not running any Pokemon EX. We're not running any Pokemon V. So our opponent essentially has to knock us out 6 times. This deck is a lot of fun. It has some pretty rough matchups against some really meta decks. Dragapult comes to mind. Dragapult's kind of unwinnable, really. Slowking is also a really bad matchup because of Kyurem. That's just how it is. That's why it's a really fun rogue deck. But, you know, it's not always about winning. It's always just about having fun. Alright, so I do win the coin flip. Now, with this deck, you actually want to go second because if all goes well, you can actually start attacking on the first turn of your game because the player who goes first does not get to attack. Now, we only lead off with Uxie, but we have Arven and Irida in hand to get some Buddy Puffins for us. So that's not too terrible. We can... I think I'm going to Irida. Yeah, so I think I'm going to Irida for Froslass, and then some Buddy Puffins. We're up against maybe Snorlax Stall, maybe. Oh boy. But, this shouldn't be too terrible. If it's just Snorlax Stall, then Froslass would just pump out damage in between turns because of Snorlax's block ability. So that shouldn't be too bad, honestly. We can't retreat, but honestly, we're gonna be applying pressure to them. So let's Irida. Yes, let's Irida. We're gonna Irida, get a Froslass and a Buddy Puffin. Let's just check the deck real quick, just to see what's in. The neutralization zone is there. Okay, we have a lot of good stuff. So prices aren't too bad. Yeah, it looks like we did prize an Azelf. But yeah, okay, honestly, pricing wasn't too bad, thankfully. So let's go get a Snorunt and another Uxie, I guess. Maybe I can get... Nah, no. I'll just get this. This is fine. We're also gonna play the... Oh, wait, I just realized we don't have any energy to attack. Oh, that's not good. I just realized. So maybe I should have gone I should have maybe just gotten an earthen vessel instead. But you know what? This is fine. This isn't too terrible. Let's see what my opponent does. Because I can always just get another. I can always get a vessel next turn, either Irida or Arvin. Yeah, looks like my opponent's immediately gonna go for the boss's orders, which is fine. It does look like just classic Snorlax stall. And this is what. Oh, this is Legacy Energy. This is one fewer price card. Okay, so we're just gonna start evolving and just pumping out the damage if our opponent's gonna be like this. So maybe I shouldn't have benched the Snorunt, but it's fine. We'll go for Irida, Snorunt, and actually, I mean, it's actually, yeah. Okay, new plan. Since opponents already got the boss's orders online, we're just gonna immediately start just pressuring the Snorlax with these Snowrunts. We're also gonna play the accompanying flute. Let's see what we find. Playing Fighting Energy, Handheld Fan, yeah. So this just looked like just Snorlax stall, which again isn't too terrible. This does slow us down a bit, but we're able to pump out damage in between turns because Snorlax having an ability. We can't retreat, but that's not the end of the world. We also cannot attack with Froslass because we do not play any water energy in this deck. Froslass is purely there for her ability. Neutralization Zone doesn't matter in this matchup, and I don't think he's running any EX Pokemon. So we'll get a Froslass. And might as well just Arvin. We could just thin the deck out a little bit. We can get a Vessel and counter gain. Might as well. I'm gonna get rid of the TM de-evolution. Game. Hello, game. Okay, thank you. Please don't do that, game. And we're going to attach to the Uxie, and we'll just end our turn. I would have liked to get another Froslass out, but still, we're just putting 40 damage in between turns. Our opponent just has to build up this Snorlax. We also have the Night Stretcher in hand, so it does look like he's building up the Snorlax for an attack. He's also playing hammers, so we're just gonna get those. Yeah, just force him to just play all those hammers. Just get those out. We have lots of recovery cards. We have ways of getting at our energy. He's playing 4 hammers. We're playing a lot. We can get a lot of energy that he's discarding back. Heavy Ball, Azelf, and a Snorunt. We're gonna get the Snorunt. We just need our Frostlasses in play, really. And we will just hang on to this energy in our hand. And we just end our turn. Snorlax takes another 2 damage. Or 20 damage, excuse me. So, assuming he has the energy in hand, he attaches, he knocks out the Froslass. We bring in the Uxie. Bump up the damage. And we can Night Stretcher back the Froslass here. It does have the other Snorlax. We can boss up that other Snorlax also. Depending on if he wakes up, I guess, also. I think it's still fine to, okay, it's still asleep, but I think it's still fine. We can't, I don't think, no. For some reason, I thought we could Lost Vacuum away Special Energy. We cannot. I don't know why I thought we could, but cannot. Night Stretcher back the Froslass we just lost. Evolve this. And let's just Counter Catcher. Yeah, let's just Counter Catcher the other Snorlax up. Painful Memories. And just start spraying this damage. Boom. So unless they take out the Froslass next, so they need to discard an energy and take out our Froslass, or that Snorlax in the back to get knocked out. We won't take a prize because of their legacy energy. but still, we're essentially forcing them to play stuff, to play these Snorlaxes out, which kind of just get wrecked by these Froslasses. Froslass is honestly kind of the reason this deck doesn't really see any play anymore. And it looks like he doesn't have anything. He's Cypher Maniac for a card, so it looks like he's looking for a specific card. But oh no, that's right. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. So we bypassed the Legacy Energy because Legacy Energy, if you didn't know, which apparently I'm too stupid to read, if it's knocked out by damage from an attack. Damage from an attack would be like if I hit him with Frost Smash, for example. But because Painful Memories, the damage counters are like an effect, we bypass that ruling. Don't want Iono here. Not really. We could just keep pumping. We don't really have to do anything. We could just keep attacking. Because they Cypher Maniac for 2 specific cards, and I don't want to immediately give them those 2 cards that they're looking for, which might just be like more hammers or boss orders. Oh, he's playing Cornerstone. That doesn't... All damage from attacks, stunts his Pokemon. That doesn't matter. Cornerstone literally doesn't matter. That's just more fodder for me. I mean, he has to play it because otherwise he loses next turn. Plays Licia also. Guess he brings up what? Either the Uxie or the Snow Runs, because Licia only affects basics. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck here now. He's like, oh no, I'm stuck here. But he won't be stuck next turn because Snorlax goes down next turn. I would like to get another Froslass here. Second boss, that doesn't matter. We don't want an Iono, they only have a 2-card hand. So it kind of just isn't the situation. We kind of just pass, really. Nice Retro. I mean, we could Nice Retro back in energy, but let's not. Kind of no reason to do anything right now. I'm going to take out the Snorlax there. And now, as it stands right now, we are no longer trapped in the active. Confusion doesn't affect your ability to retreat. You can still retreat. Confusion only affects your ability to attack. So we can easily just attach an energy to Snorunt and retreat back into Uxie and just start spreading out some more damage. So we just attach. I'm not going to take that 50-50 for drawing a card. Let's just stick with the original plan here. Counter Gain kinda doesn't really do anything at this point, really. Could Neutralization Zone also. What are the chances that they have something for this? I don't know. I don't want to lose my Ace spec if they do have something. Now this Ogerpon is going to take a bit longer to KO because she has more HP than Snorlax, but at the same time, our opponent's in a really rough position. 3 cards in hand. Their whole deck is just what's it? Ability Pokemon. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. So they take a knockout there, and we're just going to bring up the Uxie. Just keep spreading the damage. I could also go into Azelf. Let him take 2 more knockouts and we go into Azelf. That is a possibility. So let's just bench Azelf just in case. Let's attach. Might as well just throw a little rescue board in there also. So that way Froslass has a free retreat cost. And if he has it, he has it. Let's just play the Neutralization Zone. Freezing Shroud. We're gonna just keep doing that. I don't think Cornerstone bypasses Neutralization Zone, which is that's what I was checking. Pretty sure you don't. But immediately has the Artisan. But let's see. He takes 20. 1, 2. So he lives with 20. We don't have a... I mean, we could get a Uxie. Actually, let's Iono here. Let's Iono here, and if we get Mesprit... I'm sorry, if we get...
What's up, bro?
Oh, there's a Uxie. Okay, so never mind. We don't need to Iono. We just win. Nice Retro back. The energy. That's to Uxie. Retreat. And that's game. Because this will take out the Ogerpon, and then because they have no more Pokemon in play, the game is now officially over. Alright, so yeah, that's a classic Snorlax stall deck that we just beat, but this deck honestly does kind of just farms that deck. I haven't seen that deck in so long on it. But yeah, that matchup's pretty easy. Can be tricky, just, you know, play your cards right, but otherwise, it's kind of just a free one versus Snorlax stall. Alright, going second, I believe we are. Wow, this is a pretty dead hand. Pretty dead hand. Might be against an evolution deck. We are against Flareon. Okay. Flareon's a pretty rough matchup. Flareon does not have an ability. Oh no, they're not even playing. They're playing the correct EV, the Color Catch one. A lot of people try to greed for the ability EV, but that one has like 50 HP. It allows you to evolve turn 1. Okay, Ultra Ball. If he goes to Flareon, I mean, we're just gonna Iono here, really. Just Cleffa, attach energy, Iono. Accompanying Fluid also. I really want a turn 1 Mesprit. Or, excuse me, turn 1 Uxie, excuse me. Mesprit's not... Mesprit, the name of the deck is Mesprit wasn't invited, and what we were talking about Mesprit, like it's in this deck. It is nuts. And the Fluid here, they're playing Pidgey also. Okay. Alright. Well, I actually can't get a turn 1 Uxie off because I can't, I mean, I could if I draw lucky enough. Let's just try that. If I get a rescue board Uxie, then I can, turn 1 attack, but otherwise... Oh, we got one piece of the puzzle. Do this, do this, do this. Yeah, I should have just, that was wishful thinking. I should have just manually attached the energy to Snorunt, because then I could have retreated the Snorunt into Cleffa, could draw 4 cards, and then Snorunt wouldn't be at risk of getting knocked out here. That was a misplay on my part. Opponent gets in a bunch of new cards. They do have the EBEX. They immediately can find the Jolteon. Do they have an energy? Oh no, they are playing the other EV. Terra Orb immediately into Flareon. Yeah, this matchup is very rough because the evolutions, they don't have abilities. So they don't have abilities, so the Froslass damage doesn't really matter all that much. Speaking of Froslass, that's a decent top deck. Still no energy though. Might as well just Night Stretcher for another Snow Run, just in case. And then just kind of just thin the deck out, or I mean thin my hand down, so we can draw more cards. We at least get the damage on those EVs. But man, 2 turns and not being able to just spread that 20 damage really sucks. There's no reason for them to Drabite here. Yeah, evolves that EV obviously. He could boss the Pidgey or the EVEX. Okay, they researched. They had more energy in hand. What do they find? They're playing Pidgey out of EX also, it looks like, just for more draw support. But that does have an ability, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, because we would need to buy a lot of time in order for that to work. Okay, rescue board. So wait, doesn't you already have a free retreat? Why do you need a rescue board? He really needs that free retreat, I guess. Yeah, he's gonna flashing spear us. Actually, okay, no. Actually, yes. If we can get a Froslass, another Froslass. We don't have one to discard, no. If we get another Froslass, we can actually take out this Eevee. Ooh, research. I actually want to research that. Research his hand away. Kind of do, not gonna lie. Kind of do. Yeah, because there's not much going on, and we're kind of on the clock here. I don't want to Cleffa back, so I actually think I just researched this whole entire hand away. We do lose a Diva, which is not terrible, but I mean it's pretty bad, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, Froslass. So that's 20 plus. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this Eevee we take out. The 50 HP Eevee we take out. We can apply a rescue board to you. Can play another Uxie, might as well. And we have Arbin for next turn. Okay. We are stabilizing. We did take a knockout here, and we do get some more damage out for Azulf to start taking advantage of. So hopefully we can start taking some big knockouts here soon. Artisan, not terrible, but it is kind of stadium bait. If they are playing a stadium or a lost vacuum, then you can maybe use that to our advantage. I do lose a boss from that research, but it's whatever. Because I was thinking I could have also maybe tried to buy some time by playing boss's orders. Oh wait, Flushing Spear. I know, discard, right, yeah, he has to discard more energy because I have 70 HP, so you've got to discard some stuff now. I got scared. I thought for some reason Jolteon had the snipe attack. Jolteon doesn't have the snipe attack. I think Vaporeon does. Down to 3 prizes. I want to Arv in here, I think. I'll play the Artisan down, but it doesn't mean I have to play it. I should have brought up the Froslass for the pivot option, but it's whatever. Let's just play that. Let's play this. Okay. We get nothing, but they do have a Terra Orb. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff. I could Arv in here. I want to check my deck real quick. Do we have the neutralization zone? We do. Okay. 4 energy. Okay. Do we count? We can counter gain next. We can Azulf next turn. Just kind of want to need some energy in her. Yeah, we kind of need some energy. Let's just do that. We can attach you. Can vessel away the Buddy Puffin. Let's get some more energy. Counter gain. Actually, maybe I misplayed because I had this second Azulf. So they have boss's orders. They just go for that. That's another misplay on my part, but we do spread this damage out, and we are essentially also forcing our opponent to find the Pidgeot EX. Otherwise, they will lose this Pidgey next turn. Which I think that going for the Pidgeot EX is a higher priority than the Jolteon. But their opponent only needs to take 2 more prize cards. So I think actually, yeah. Okay, I take that back. I think we just go for the Jolteon. We just take out the Jolteon here. Go for Flashing Spear. Because our opponent only needs to take out 2 more prize. Only needs to take out 2 more Pokemon. And this added damage from... I'm pretty sure this is already a knockout, but this is just like added benefits for Froslass. Yeah, I think it's better to just... Well, Froslass doesn't do anything. I could have actually Artisan for another Snow Runt also. So we're behind in prices, so counter gain does activate. We're doing 280 damage. We just take out the Jolteon. Then I can take that energy from Jolteon. And then we need to take 3 more prizes. If we can... So it kind of comes down to this, really. Because if they don't evolve the Pidgey, we win. It's as simple as that. If they have the Pidgeot, we lose. If they have it, if they have it, we lose. If they don't have it, we win, because we can just go into Uxie. Uxie will spread the damage, take out the Pidgeot. That'll put the Uxie will also actually, yeah. So if they have Pidgeot or another evolution, we lose. And given their 7-card hand, the odds of them having an evolution, plus they're playing Terra Orb also. Oh my god, wow. They don't have it? They have a 7-card hand that they don't play anything? Yeah, so we just win though, right? So we just win though, right? Because we go into Uxie. Froslasses are gonna spread the damage to you. And then we take 2, and then we have the energy in hand. We just take 3 knockouts. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Wow, okay. Usually Evolutions is a really bad matchup because of the Evolutions themselves don't have abilities, but we actually just clutched that. Really nice. Alright. I'm surprised my opponent didn't have either they didn't either they must have not had an evolution, but they had a 7-card hand. They just didn't have it. I'm surprised, really. Huh. Alright, and that's gonna do it. I know the games weren't exactly the best, but there were 2 games that I didn't record, but one I just hard bricked, and then the other one I was just against a Raging Boat player who just kind of AFK'd after 2 turns, so obviously that's not gonna be in the video. Because, I mean, bricking is never fun, and then AFK Raging Boat player was just AFK. I was dead drawing that game anyway, also. But probably shorter video, but I am unfortunately almost out of time. I can't record. I'm not able to just record whenever. I do live with other people. I kind of wish I could showcase more for this deck, but I feel like the evolution game really just also showed the power of the deck at times. If your opponent just doesn't get the cards that they need. Couldn't show off Neutralization Zone, unfortunately, but Neutralization Zone is very good. If your opponent has nothing to answer for that, if they're just playing a full EX deck, then they just can't do anything if they have no way to pump the stadium also, which not every deck does. Not people really aren't playing that much stadiums anymore other than like Area 0 decks. Anyways, this deck is a lot of fun. Try it out for yourself. You can mix things up. It's just a build that I use personally with just quad Uxie, quad Froslass, and all that stuff. You can maybe change out some supporter cards also, just to see what you like. This might get changed in the future with future expansions, seeing what happens with those. But I'm overall pretty happy with this deck. This deck is a lot of fun. Try it out for yourself. I recommend it. Anyway, thanks everyone so much for watching. This is Shadow Jester signing out.